Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about some heavy things. We're going to be talking about 13 reasons why, we're going to be talking about bullying, and we're going to be talking about my own personal experience with suicide. And so this is going to be a really heavy topic to discuss, obviously. I wanted to give you guys a heads up. This video might be triggering for some. I'm going to be telling you guys some stories from my past that may upset people. But I think it's important to talk about this, especially here on YouTube. I know that so many of my audience are young and impressionable and could really benefit from this. I think it's really important that YouTubers use their platforms to talk about serious issues, even though they may not be the funnest thing to talk about. And lately with YouTube blocking so many people's content as not advertiser friendly, anything suicide prevention or awareness wise or anything related to self-harm and dark topics like these are automatically not advertiser friendly, and it's discouraging other YouTubers to talk about it. So thankfully I have Patreon now, and I don't care what YouTube thinks of what I do and what I talk about here on my channel. I think it's important. So we are going to go ahead and talk about it. So if you didn't know, there is a Netflix series that came out pretty recently, and it's called 13 Reasons Why. It's actually based on a book. I was really nervous to watch the show, worried it would make me sad or trigger me in some sort of way or something like that, and I'm glad that I forced myself to watch it. I did have, episode guides, so I knew when the tough things are coming up, and I definitely suggest looking that up as well if you get triggered by violence or anything like that, because there are some pretty graphic and violent parts to this show, and I'm glad that they showed the harsh reality that is self-harm and suicide and bullying. It needs to be shown. They shouldn't sugarcoat it or make it seem like something it's not. Self-harm and suicide are important subjects, and they need to be shown as they are. And there's a lot of arguing on the internet on whether or not the show did a good job. A lot of people think it was unrealistic that this popular girl ends up committing suicide, which I can tell you, some of the most popular kids in school are sometimes the ones that end up committing suicide from personal experience. A lot of people think that it glorifies suicide, and that's fine if people think that. I have a completely differing opinion. I thought the show was excellent. I thought it was extremely well done. I think people are confusing glorifying and then the fact that it's a show. It still has to be entertaining to get people to watch it, especially young people who are not easy to entertain, to watch something serious and get the message across. I think they accomplished their goal of creating a conversation around self-harm and suicide. Personally, I didn't think the show glorified it at all. I thought it was very realistic, and I thought they did an excellent job with it. And as someone who's personally lost friends in high school to suicide, it was very similar to what I went through, and very relatable and healing for me. Everyone has a different opinion about it. You're welcome to share in the comment section, but I do ask you to be nice, because arguing about whether or not the show did a good job is really counterproductive, because anything that brings mental health awareness to the platform and to the discussion, in my book, is doing a great job. I don't want this video to end up being about the show only. I did like the show. I liked the acting. I thought it was very well done. There were a couple things I didn't like about it, but that's not really the point of this. I wanted to finally talk to you guys about my experience with suicide. Now, this isn't something I've ever talked about here on my channel because it's difficult. I never wanted to make anyone sad or scare anybody, but I think it's important that I share what I've been through. A couple years ago, I did a fundraiser for suicide prevention for my birthday. I asked people for my birthday instead. I wanted to raise money for suicide prevention, and I did get, it was when my channel was very small, so I did get a couple of subscribers, support, and family members and stuff, and raised a decent amount for suicide prevention, which was great. And in that video, I talked about how I had experienced suicide but didn't go into it, and that is a story that I'm going to tell you guys today. I'm going to make up names just to protect everyone in this story. I was in this weightlifting class with this girl named Katie, and Katie was really pretty, really fun, had a really cool group of friends. In my junior year, during the first semester, she was my weightlifting partner, so I wasn't like really good friends with her. I just, we talked whenever we had our weightlifting, but we were just, I'd consider us friends, but just more of acquaintances than friends. So then winter break came, and Christmas passed, and it was the 26th, the day after Christmas, and I was upstairs in my room on Facebook, and I was in a robe and doing my makeup and stuff and hanging out, and I saw on Facebook that one of my friends, we can just call her Jane. Jane was someone I was friends with when I was younger, actually, in middle school. She had been to my house before, we just hung out at school. She was just one of my friends. High school came, we ended up at different high schools, and we didn't see each other much. But I found on Facebook, I saw someone else commenting on her wall saying, you know, rest in peace. And this wave of emotion went over me. And back then I hadn't lost anybody before. I'd never lost a grandparent or anything like that at that point. So I was completely freaked out. I went to her Facebook wall and obviously I saw all these people saying something. And then I messaged another friend who told me, yeah, she actually killed herself last night. So on Christmas Day. I went running downstairs to my mom, and I just remember sitting on the top of our kitchen stairs talking to my mom down there, just crying. My mom was horrified. Felt like just a couple years ago she was in a Halloween costume in our basement. So, and so that was really, really hard. I slept with my mom for a couple days after that, and very difficult to deal with and just sad. I mean, it was a terrible time. I remember feeling very depressed and sad and scared. And then a couple days later, my friend from weight training, Katie, I found out that she had killed herself as well. And that was terrible. Had to go to funerals, open casket, and it was extremely sad. I remember just feeling so uncomfortable, and my mom came with me, and it was one of the hardest things that I've ever been through, because at that age you're just so impressionable, you know. It was really hard to see people who were like these girls' best friends deal with this, you know. It was, you know, cry, just hysterics and sounds that I've never heard ever come out of any other person. It was very traumatic and sad, and you know, we all had to go back to school after that, and our teachers were acting weird about it. We had to talk about it in every class, and I don't know if it was just really bad luck at my school. I mean, I don't think we had a serious bullying problem. In fact, we were actually known for being one of the schools in the district that had the least amount of bullying and the best community vibe. But after that, we had another girl that was a year older than me, who I just knew through mutual friends. She committed suicide as well. Now, luckily, she survived, so that was good, but that was very scary. She was in a coma for days. And then there was another kid who committed suicide on the football field. And this was all in a matter of months. So suicide has been a really sensitive subject for me since then, just because I've seen too much of it, I feel like. And, you know, in college, I had another friend try to commit suicide, and it's always been something that just is hard for me to talk about, just because I guess I'm lucky that in my life, not too many bad things have happened to me. Suicide, for some reason, is very, very hard to understand and hard to deal with. And that's why I loved 13 Reasons Why, is that if my school had seen that, maybe we could have changed. And after all these people had committed suicide, we all started treating each other very differently. It was a reminder to be nice to each other and to take care of each other, and it totally changed the tone of my school. So that's why I love the show, because I think a lot of people just don't realize how their actions can affect other people. I want to talk about bullying. I have been bullied my entire life, actually, and I'm still bullied to this day. People will say the meanest things ever. People make videos about me. Those drama channels, they still make videos about me just bullying me for no reason. People leave me mean comments. People write me mean emails. People make social media accounts that are dedicated to picking on me and bullying me. And luckily, I'm a really strong person, because I have been bullied for pretty much my whole life. Bullying started for me when I was in grade school. I had learning disabilities, and kids would make fun of the way I read, or me being pulled out of class to go to the special needs room. When I was in 4th grade, I ended up changing schools because I had these learning disabilities, and the school could no longer afford to pay for my special needs, so I had to move to a different district. It's a long story, but when I moved schools, I was so bullied. I was completely alone. I was just like the reject of the whole grade. I was very, very lonely, and it really affected me my whole life. You wouldn't think when you're that young that it would affect you, but it does. I was also bullied in middle school. I had some severe issues with cyberbullying. I had an adult cyberbully me when I was in high school. And I think one of the things to remember with bullying, and what I always try to remember when I get hate comments or people target me or try to make videos about me, or just, you know, be mean on the internet, is that most people that hurt other people have been hurt themselves, and that there's something wrong with people who want to put other people down or want to make someone else sad or hurt their feelings. And I think that's what's so important about 13 Reasons Why, is that it shows us that all of the people that were bullying her, most of them had serious shit going on in their own life. It's not an excuse for that type of behavior, but it is something that you can remember if you're being targeted yourself. They only want to hurt you because they're hurt themselves. Sometimes understanding why someone does something is the best thing that you can do for yourself. I have dealt with bullying my whole life, and I don't know, I'm very, very strong and thick-skinned about it. Like, I would never be the type that I think it would get so bad for me that I would make a decision like that. And that doesn't mean I'm better than anyone else. It just means that I am different. that I can look at things differently, that maybe I have people in my life that are really supportive of me, and I just have a different personality. I think people just have no idea that there are people out there that don't have as thick of a skin, that can't just hear something and be like, whatever, hater, and move on. There are people that have been through such shit, or they have mental illness that makes it so much worse for them. I haven't talked much about my depression. I was diagnosed with depression about 5 or 6 years ago, and I've got it really under control, but at that point it was not because of anything that happened in my life. Everything in my life was great, but I was miserable on the inside, and no one would have known that except for me, because I knew what was going on in my brain. My brain was chemically imbalanced, and I had to get on medication, and luckily I'm not dealing with that today. There are people that don't have medication, don't have support from family members, don't have friends, don't have the mental ability to ignore. That's why when someone says, just ignore them, toughen up, it's tough for them because they can't mentally do that. And I'm rambling a lot, but I wanted to say that for those of you guys out there who have been bullied, I know that there are so many out there that have been bullied way worse than I have, way worse than anyone can imagine or know, that have been through terrible things in their lives and unfair circumstances. I think so many people, when they discuss suicide, just say things like, it's selfish. Just hang in there. You have no idea how great life could be. And those are all coming from a good place, but people need to understand it's so much harder than that, and mental illness isn't something you can just turn off and say, okay, well, I'm better than them and I don't need to feel sad like this. So it's hard for me to even think of what to say to someone who is struggling out there. And I guess all I want to say to you is that even though you may feel like life sucks, like life is so not worth living, that everyone here doesn't understand you, that your mind cannot take it one more day of the bullshit, that it's so dark and cluttered in your own head that you just don't care anymore what people think. You don't care about anyone's feelings. You don't care. I just want to let you know that if you're at that point, that you are worth so much more. If I could go back to my friends that lost their lives in high school, I would tell them, like, dude, I wish I could tell them, you were so loved. The whole school missed you. Their friends are now doing great. They, live together and they're happy and they're thriving and they have jobs and they're creating their lives, and they're not. And I wish that they could still be here. I wish that they could be here to remember all of our childhood memories and high school memories, and I wish that they didn't make that decision. Depression is not something you should be battling alone. You shouldn't feel guilty or weak or anything for feeling the things that you feel. Please ask someone, please ask anybody to help you, whether it's someone you know or not. I'm gonna put a few resources below if you feel, even for a second, even if you're not even close to doing anything. If you still feel like you are not worth it and someone else's life would be better without you, or you just feel numb to the point where you don't care about anything anymore, please seek out help. I wish there was something I could say to make it better for you, but I'm not a therapist and I'm not licensed to be able to do that. But all I want you to know is that you're so loved, you're so special and unique, and you have something to offer the world. And just because life is unhappy and unfair for you right now doesn't mean it can't be turned around. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to feel the things you're feeling, but please don't take any actions on top of those. Please. As my subscriber, I want to tell you that you are loved and special and a beautiful human with amazing gifts to offer the world, and don't take that away from us. Don't take your light away from us, because life is beautiful. Life is so wonderful, and it's all about surrounding yourself around the good people of the world. And once you find the right people to be around you, and you leave high school, where high school just sucks, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sucks, but it's only 4 years and you can get through it. And as soon as you're past that, life gets better. No one cares about popularity. No one cares about anything like that. Please don't be afraid to speak up if you need help. Please do not ever think that life is not worth living, because I promise you it is. So that's it for me today, guys. Spread some kindness in the world. Please don't put out negativity. Don't put someone else down. Don't be mean. In the comment section, please keep it nice. Even though they're just other people on the internet, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what someone has going on in their life, and your kindness could mean everything to them. It could be a matter of life and death. So never forget that. All right, guys, I know that was heavy, but I felt like it was really important to talk about. If you are interested in checking out 13 Reasons Why, please move forward with caution. It is a graphic show. It does talk about very heavy topics. It might be something you want to watch with a friend or a parent even. It is available on Netflix, and I would suggest not watching it all at once. Kind of brace yourself. I will tell you that the last episode is extremely violent. I was crying so hard. I was scared. So if you're not good with blood, if you're not good with violent things, or if you're not good with self-harm, or you can get triggered, or you just can't really handle violence or gore, it may not be the best show for you to watch, or maybe even just that episode. I pretty much had to look away a lot of the time, and it was very difficult, but I think it's such an important show. I'm really excited about it, and I want to know what you guys think. That's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day. Please know how amazing you are and how much we need you in this world, okay? I need all of my sun rays to give light to the world. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.